afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jackie Jewell. I'm the Executive Director of the Visiting Nurses Foundation. First off, I'd like to thank Karen Monroe for her beautiful music to get us going today. She's a music therapist with Assured Hospice with the Comfort Therapy Program, and we're very proud to have her. So thank you so much for being here. This celebration has become particularly meaningful to the Visiting Nurses Foundation, and it's a very fulfilling tradition that we have. It's been over 30 years that we've had this event, and we look forward to it every single year. This year, we are proud to partner with Newell Horlings as the event sponsor for this beautiful tradition. Personally, this tradition just continues to become more and more meaningful for me as it provides a moment of pause during the hustle and bustle of the holidays. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna already start crying, I'm sorry. To reflect on the beautiful memories with loved ones that have passed. As we celebrate the holiday season, on behalf of the Visiting Nurses Foundation, I hope that the light of Christmas brings warmth and love into your home, and that memories that you treasure provide peace and comfort during this Christmas season. Thank you for allowing the Visiting Nurses Foundation to take part in honoring your loved ones this holiday season. Your continued support allows the opportunity for us to be a part of many other families' journeys. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for allowing us to be part of this with you. I'd like to invite Dan Schaefer with Newell Horlings to say a few words.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. On behalf of Newell Horlings, I'd like to offer our continued sympathy and support to you as you process the loss of a loved one. And I'd also like to express our gratitude to the care providers that are so essential to us as we go through an illness of a loved one and that terminal period, and having their support is such a vital help. So we thank you, care providers, for that. I'd also like to remind you there are grief support groups that are available to walk with you through this time of healing. And if you are not aware of where they are, you can contact the funeral home, Newell Horlings, and we have resources we can provide to you. Lastly, I would like to remind you that one thing that I discovered was helpful. My father passed away at age 65. He was diagnosed with liver cancer in October, passed away on December 16th, a few years ago. And when we were planning our Christmas, New Year or Christmas Eve is a big celebration for our family. We were struggling with what do we do at Christmas? Do we try to pretend like this hasn't happened and just ignore it? Or do we cancel? And we decided that what we would do was do what my dad would want us to do, and that is celebrate Christmas. But we took a few moments before we opened our gifts, and we had a little mini memorial service for my dad. We just talked about him. We laughed, and we shared memories of him, and it was just really helpful for our family. Some years later, I was getting up on a Saturday morning. My dad lived for Saturdays. He worked at the Lewis County PUD. He was in an office 5 days a week. He was like a caged animal. And when the weekends came, he loved to get out and cut firewood and work. And I got up on a Saturday morning, and I was mentally going over my to-do list. And then I looked over next to my bed on the nightstand where there was a picture of him in his Navy uniform when he was 18 years old. And I was reminded of something he said to me. He said, "Son, never try to get a month's worth of work done in one day." And I just started to weep, thinking of that wisdom and thinking how much I missed my dad. It had been well over 10 years after he passed. And then I kind of did what a man does. I mentally slapped myself and said, "You shouldn't be shedding tears." And I felt like the Lord spoke to me and said, "Never be ashamed of the tears you shed for your dad, because it's a measure of your love that you have for him." So we want to encourage you. feel free to share those tears based out of memories of great relationships and love. Thank you very much. It's my privilege to introduce to you Matt March, the Assured Hospice Chaplain. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you for making us a part of your lives. I'm often asked, as a hospice provider, after the inevitable, and then they're like, how do you do that work? And I always say that hospice is about life, because death is a part of life. At one of my grief groups that I was working with, we watched a TED Talk, and the woman who was talking had one year, about 3 or 4 years ago, she lost a pregnancy, her father died, and her husband died within a month. And, of course, that grief is overwhelming, right? And her TED Talk was about how people kept telling her it was time to move on. And she said, you just don't move on. You don't move on. But she had a really interesting statistic that I thought I would share with you as we gathered together. And she said it was a very unscientific study, but she felt like the number was good. And she said, 100% of the people in this room will experience death. And 100% of the people you love will die. That is not a mindset that goes over very well in the United States of America. And if you've lost someone, if someone in your family has died, someone you loved, you have experienced the death-denying culture that we have in our society. Nobody wants to talk. We like to think we're death-defying, right? That we have a pill or a treatment or a surgery or something, we can fix anything. We think we're death-defying, but really we're death-denying. But when it's someone you love, that denial is gone. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, sorrow makes us all children again, destroys all differences of intellect, the wisest know nothing. When you start down this road, you realize all the things that you don't know, and all of the ways that you are completely lost. Death is a great equalizer. Maybe that's why we like to deny it so much, because it is such an equalizer for us. But here's the thing I want you to hear very clearly. For all of you that have walked with a family member in the final days of their life, you are the strongest people I know. Those of us in the hospice world, the nurses, the chaplains, the social workers, the office people, the comfort therapists, we are fellow travelers and assistants, but you are the ones who have done the work. You are some of the strongest people we know. And even if the world around you says you're weak because you cried, looking at that picture and remembering the words of wisdom, or society says you should move on and get over it, and you feel like, what is wrong with me? No, you are the strong one. You are the one that shows strength. Because this thing called death is all powerful. It is the opposite of the Wizard of Oz, right? You know the final scene in Wizard of Oz, they come to the great and powerful Oz, and it's this big guy, right? And he's, I'm the great and powerful Oz. And it's really this little old man pulling a bunch of levers. Death is the opposite, right? We want to think the fake is it's this little old man and it's, nothing, but really it's this big thing. You guys are the strongest people I know. And you became strong because you reached out to other people. That's what we do in the face of this all-powerful, is we find our strength in the community of other people. When people ask me about grief group, what is grief group? What does that look like? I call to mind the words attributed to the 16th century monk Martin Luther. He said, "We're all beggars showing other beggars where to find bread." And that's what we are in the grief group. We're all beggars. We're all facing this big, powerful thing, but we're facing it together, and each of us supporting one another. And that's the one place I will tell you, the people there will be okay with you crying. The people there will be okay with you remembering, and they will want to hear those stories. So continue to reach out to the people who give you strength. Continue to recognize the strength that you have within you, that you have built over this journey that you have gone on with your loved one. And continue to share that strength with others when you're ready. Because yes, you are a beggar in the face of this grief and this loss, but you also know the way. And you can share that strength as well. So thank you. Thank you for coming to this place. For coming to this place to share your grief, to share your strength, and to share your time. As you go forward, you will not move on, but you will grow. You will not forget, but you will remember. Go in the confidence that you are the strongest person I know.
Thank you so much, Dan and Matt. We're going to begin our candle lighting ceremony now. When I call your loved one's name, if you'd like to come up and light a candle on their behalf. Emma Lou Anderson, Marianne Bain, Anne Marie Basel, Pat Basel, Curtis Bieber, Ray Blake, Ruby Bosch, Eileen Bose, Gerald L. Bose, Irene Britton, Morris Coleman, Sharon Coleman, Douglas and Doris Crawford, Edward Chrysler, John Daly, Linda Davidson, Sherry Davidson, Darlene Eklund, Glenn Eklund, Airdrie Ensign, Rose Erickson, H. Paul Finley Jr., Irvin Flathers, Frank Boschna, Freeman D. Freeman, Ron and Betty Gower, Evelyn Haas, Vernell Jody Hemphill, hospice patients, Michael Hughes, Sergeant Leandro Antonio Sleeper Hossa, Bill Jewell, Arlene Jorgensen, Rebecca Ketchum, Anthony Ketchum Jr., James Culp Sr., Greg Lasilla, Julie Latimer, Fran Lorela, law enforcement officers, Neil Leduc, Robert E. Lintott, James C. Lucas, James B. Macmillan III, MD, John Mast, S.C. Matthew, Marcus O. Evan Franklin Mathis, Eugene Mac McLeese, Van F. McDaniel, Douglas Minkoff, Eric Moe, James H. Morgan, Matthew Monday, Jerry Page, Dave Palmer, Alan Parker, William Parrott, Tom Plackinger, Tom Plant, W.M. Puryear, Deanne Putman, Duncan Reed, George Resch, Harlan Riedel, Lloyd Riedel, Don Roberts, Francis Rothenberger, Renat Rothenberger, Estella Rust, Dr. Rudolph C. Reiser, Sharon Sabin, William Schmidt, Bob and Lorraine Sigel, Sarah Slape, DeWitt Spear, JB Spear, Helen and Ken Stedham, Marion Stover, Marlene Stover, Colleen Stewart, Sturtevant, Lucille Sturtevant, Daniel E. Sweezy, William Thorne, Ray Thorpe, Grace Trentledge, Russ Trentledge, Russell Trentledge Sr., Herb and Amy Truesdell, Bud Turner, Yvonne, Eugene Voku, Margaret Walker, Samantha Walker, Leonard Winters, Jennifer, Jennifer Wright, Clyde Wood, Douglas Wilkinson, Is there anyone else here that would like to light a candle for anyone that they love? Sue Hovard. Dawn and Barbara Phillips. Jeffrey Brian Lee Brown. Dawn Duke. Bob Bayer. This time I'd like to invite Matt March to close us out in prayer.
I'll leave you with this poem. It's a Celtic prayer, actually. It's called Walking with Grief. Do not hurry as you walk with grief. It does not help the journey. Walk slowly, pausing often. Do not hurry as you walk with grief. Be not disturbed by memories that come unbidden. Swiftly forgive and let Christ speak for you unspoken words. Unfinished conversation will be resolved in Him. Be not disturbed. Be gentle with the one who walks with grief. If it is you, be gentle with yourself. Swiftly forgive. Walk slowly, pausing often. Take time. Be gentle as you walk with grief.
Thank you again for being here with us today. If you'd like to find your loved one's name on the tree, you're more than welcome to take the ornament home with you. We've got light refreshments in the back. And thank you. This is such a beautiful event, and it makes it so special that you're here to share it with us. So thank you very much.